Video game development can be a lengthy and a hard task to handle. When a game is first announced, fans are eager to get their hands on a title. From announcement to release, games can take upwards of 2 to 3 years to finally reach store shelves. But in some cases, for one reason or another, development can be halted or development could be scrapped altogether. Some games have been in development for years, like the recent Doom reboot and Final Fantasy 15, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is most notably one of these games. Early concepts of the game began shortly after the release of Kingdom Hearts 2 all the way back in 2006, a whole 14 years ago, but for all the rumours and speculations, the game wasn't officially announced till Sony E3 presentation in 2013. Even though the game was announced in 2013, it was still very early in development, and the game wasn't released until nearly 6 years later. So here we are with Kingdom Hearts 3, it's finally here, so let's see if it was worth the wait. Kingdom Hearts is well known for its convoluted and confusing storyline that has built up this story over 17 years worth of games and spin-offs for this moment to come. And for those who haven't played any titles before, it may be a daunting task, but actually the series' overarching plot isn't that bad. Well, once you've watched a few videos or read a few wikis. As for Kingdom Hearts 3's plot, it once again follows Sora along with Donald and Goofy as they try to restore Sora's power of Waken, so they can finally defeat the great threat of Master Xehanort. This quick description is just the surface of what the story contains, with around 10 hours of cutscenes delivered throughout the game. There's certainly a lot of story here. For me personally, I thought the story was okay, certainly a bit more easier to follow compared to some of the other games in the series, but there does feel like the story is a bit too bloated at times. But for fans of the franchise, they will lap up and love every minute of it. But there is a disappointing lack of Final Fantasy characters, which have been a mainstay since the series' inception. But for newbies of the franchise, it's still highly likely confused folks, but you can jump straight in if you want to and just enjoy a ride. And boy, what a ride it is, because when it comes to the gameplay, Kingdom Hearts 3 is top notch. The series is a third-person action game with RPG elements chucked in. As the series continued, the combat has evolved and changed, and with Kingdom Hearts 3, we've got the most complete, fun and enjoyable combat the series has ever seen. Sora does still do his basic attacks, but there's so many different attacks and variables to combat that each combat encounter feels different. It's certainly a far cry from the first game, which can be a bit repetitive now. Sora here in Kingdom Hearts 3 has brought the kitchen sink with him with the combat options. Not only does he still have magic, Sora has a lot more besides. Sora can call upon attractions which are literally real-world Disney World attractions that act like powerful summons which can do some tremendous damage, and there's a good variety of them. Summons of Disney characters return as well. Wreck-It Ralph, Stitch and Ariel are just some of the summons you can call upon. You can block and dodge as well as the ability to switch between Keyblades seamlessly for the first time in the series. The Keyblades have abilities to change form and cause even more damage and cause some very flashy attacks. Each of the Keyblades can also be upgraded to do even more damage and magic, so there's plenty to combat. One of the biggest reasons why people love the Kingdom Hearts franchise is the many different Disney worlds you explore, and Kingdom Hearts 3 continues this trend, with a decent selections of worlds from the House of Mouse. The first world you visit is the Olympus world from Hercules, and this world was in previous games, but it was nothing more than a collection of fighting tournaments. But for the first time in the series, Olympus is a proper world, and it's great to see the Hercules franchise being better represented. As for the other worlds on offer, we have the fantastic Toy Story world that's incredibly nostalgic and wonderfully presented, and you can't help but smile while playing that world. Another world that's a highlight is the Pirates of the Caribbean world. That really does look astounding compared to the PS2 Pirates world, and in the gameplay department it's a blast, as you're a captain of your own ship, making this world feel like a mini Assassin's Creed Black Flag. As for the other Disney worlds, we have Big Hero 6 and Monsters Inc., which are both very serviceable and enjoyable worlds that, while still amaze like the previous two worlds, they still deliver a good time. And for the final two Disney worlds, we have ones based on Tangled and the incredibly popular Frozen. The two worlds feel the most safest of all the worlds, as they essentially are retellings of the movies, just with Sora, Donald and Goofy appearing at odd intervals. But whilst the Tangled world is incredibly beautiful and a joy to go through, the Frozen world just didn't do it for me. Those fans of the film will lap it up as the game includes a few of the film's most iconic songs in full, including the incredibly popular Let It Go. This world for me was the least interesting and least fun due to the world lacking any real visual flair and the ice labyrinth being a bore to navigate. Talking about boredom, one of the most boring parts of the previous main entries was the gummy ship sections. Whilst I could see what they were trying to do, these sections for me were such a bore and really did detract from previous entries. But thankfully, Kingdom Hearts 3 has changed these gummy sections for the better. Instead of feeling like a light version of Star Fox, the gummy sections are now set in a big open galaxy that's free to explore, and it's a much better style of gameplay for it. Whilst they're still far from perfect, and I'd rather they ditch them altogether and just have a select world option, it's the best version of the gummy ship of all the games, so that's good at least. Lengthwise, to complete the game, it took me just over the 20-hour mark, but I did kind of rush it and miss many of the collectibles. The game does have plenty of side bits and pieces to do, and there is a secret boss, as well as upgrading Sora to the max. To do all this extra bits and pieces, you're talking around another 10 to 15 hours, which isn't too bad. Those who love playing the previous games on the incredibly hard critical mode will be disappointed to hear that the mode isn't available at launch, and will be included in a future update due sometime later this year, which is a shame. Presentation wise, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a stunning piece of work. The many different Disney worlds look exactly like its original film. The Toy Story world is probably the best example of this, as it's near identical to the film and shows how far video game graphics have come since the 2002 original. The game also runs quite well on the PS4 Pro, aims for 60 FPS for the most part. It does stick there, though it is liable to drop to the mid-40s, but overall they've done a very good job here. As for the music, the game is a collection of original and Disney tunes that make for a very memorable soundtrack. One of my highlights is the game's new opening theme song, Face My Fears, which is an energetic and upbeat tune. Another highlight is the Toy Story World theme, which is a constant loop of You've Got a Friend in Me, which is typically nostalgic and wonderful at the same time. Conclusion time now, and Kingdom Hearts 3 certainly took its sweet old time to come out, but for the most part the wait was worth it, with fantastic and incredibly fun combat that always keeps you on your toes and an immaculate presentation throughout. Kingdom Hearts 3 is pure Disney magic. The odd camera issues, missing content like the critical mode, and the lack of Final Fantasy characters may detract a bit, but nevertheless I'm giving Kingdom Hearts 3 an 8 out of 10 with the title of great. Thank you for watching my review, like, rate and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming, bye!